Alright, welcome back to Sonic Heroes, where we're in Rail Canyon. The last of the bad levels, in my opinion.
Tails, how much time's left?
We've got until sunset!
Tails, Knuckles, give it all you got! Full speed ahead! Got it!
I love the concept of this level. I think the location's cool. The music gets you pumped up. But the level itself, I do not like. It always makes me feel way too nervous playing it. So this might just be a me thing. I'm sure there are people who like Rail Canyon. But it's still basically the same controls as in Sonic Adventure 2, the rail grinding. So sometimes things can go awry. It is a little bit more stable than in that game. Like, switching from rail to rail feels much better. Not to say anything good about the game, but Shadow the Hedgehog does actually do it fairly well. The way that one switches rails, because I think you just press left or right and you just switch to a rail. You don't have to manually jump. Because again, sometimes things can go awry in this game and in Sonic Adventure 2. You can just fly off the rail or not line yourself up correctly. And the fact that so much of these two levels take place on rails, so to speak, is very nerve-wracking for me, because I know I'm a second away from making some sort of terrible mistake, and I would rather just not play this level. So, while I do think that Casino Park is a much worse level, like actually worse, I can see why someone might like this level, but it's just not my... that type of thing just isn't my bag, baby. Again, it is really cool. I think watching someone play this level well would probably be very cool, because it's a bit of a spectacle level. I just don't like it. No siree. Don't like it one bit. Makes me way too nervous.
Ready anytime!
There's some cool, like, tricks that you can do. Like, there's one thing that I do in every single story that I played through, where there's a kind of a section of rail grinding that you can just skip altogether with a well-placed jump. And I like that. I like that kind of level design. It was probably intentional. If not, I like finding stuff like that. One thing that this game does, it kind of gets rid of the spin dash, which I don't love. It gives a new attack called the Rocket Excel, which you only have to use one time in the entire game. And that's going to be in the last level, which we'll talk about when we get there. But the Rocket Excel is a kind of neat thing. It can sometimes work like the Sonic Adventure 1 spin dash, where you can use it to just completely break the game wide open. And, you know, platform to places that you're not really supposed to be, or would, you know, are supposed to take you a little bit longer to get to. You can perform the Rocket Excel by pressing the B button and up, I think, when Tails and Knuckles are to your side as Sonic. So you have to be lined up correctly and then do it. That train has a mean face. Why is he so angry?
Leave it to me. Let's go!
So yeah, you can leave characters behind as Tails to hit switches, which I think is interesting, that you can actually technically play as him like normally, and that they gave him an attack, but you don't really ever need to like see it or use it or do anything with it.
Leave them to me, Sonic.
I will say I like the egg pawns. I know some people are kind of mixed on the egg pawns. They, I feel like, were used the best in colors. This is their introduction, so there's not really much to talk about other than the fact that, like, hey, there they are. In Sonic Colors, they would be themed to each of the, like, worlds that you go to in that game, which I quite like. When you're in the candy world, they have, like, spatulas and forks and stuff, and little chef's hats. I like that quite a bit. That was real nice. Thank you, game. I appreciate that very much. But yeah, the reason I'm still kind of going at this part a little bit slowly is because I feel like if I try and like quickly go through that area, I'm gonna fly off, and I don't want that to happen. So That's really why I don't like this level. It scares me.
All the tricks.
And then there's just stuff like that where I guess I just didn't have enough speed. Whatever. Just monkeys throwing nonsense at you. That's cool. Thank you, game. There's no way to jump off of the rails once you're on them. Like, in a situation like that, I was going the wrong way, and I was trying to jump off, but it just kept making me switch lanes, which I didn't want. So it just doesn't control well. This game simply sometimes does not control well. When the game doesn't have you doing stuff like this, it's fine. But other than that, you know, you can really tell some corners were cut, and some quality control wasn't really done here. Or maybe I'm just bad at the game. That's always a possibility. I'm sure there are people who really, really like Rail Canyon, and I don't remember what the other one is called. Sky something. Maybe. Sky Chase. And I really, that's a Sonic Adventure 1 level. I really couldn't tell you. And here you can see just how slippery the characters were. I was desperately trying to stop Sonic and get him to touch the goal ring, but he just was not having it. He was slipping and sliding all over the place.
I didn't use all my strength.
You're not going to see any A's on these levels. Bullet Station, there you go. Cool level, cool name. This one I like a little bit more than Rail Canyon because there's a lot less of the grinding. But, you know, there's still a good amount of it. But if you were to ask me to, you know, at gunpoint, play one of these levels, I don't know, that's it. You were just holding a gun at me and you asked me to play a level, I would play this one over the other one. It's not really a threat there or an ultimatum, like you just are telling me to play one of the levels, I guess. It's kind of a friendly request despite the fact that you have a gun.
Let's go up there.
Let's go up there.
Got it.
I don't know why I made him sound like big.
Let's go up there, Froggy.
If we stay ahead of the train,
So yeah, this part of the level I really enjoy. I like that you go down into these like Eggman bases and then you're on these trains and you have to destroy them using Knuckles. I think that's cool. And then you get shot off here. That is not there in the Dark Side story, by the way. You'd think it would be. You'd think that they would put more hazards on the levels and the rails in the Dark Side, but no. For whatever reason, that's only for Team Sonic to deal with. And they only put one enemy on a rail in the entirety of the Dark Story, and it's at the very end of the game. It's very bizarre. You'd think that they would have done more of that if it was supposed to be the hard mode of the game.
got it. Level up.
Let's go!
Oh yeah, we're gonna have some issues here. This is a checkpoint, and I'm gonna die a little bit into this level, and I'm gonna keep getting sent back here. And it was very, very frustrating.
Got it.
A lot of this game feels bad. But don't worry, I won't be as negative about the game going forward because, as I said, the next 3 levels? Yeah, the last 3 levels, I guess I should say, are very, very good. They're all very good in their own ways.
Got it.
Come on, guys. It's me, Knuckles.
Let's go down there.
That's what Knuckles should have sounded like in the Sonic movie. Which hasn't come out yet by the time I'm recording this, so I won't be able to talk about it. Sorry, I'm sure I enjoyed it. Unless it really jumped the shark, in which case I hated it.
Here we go.
So in areas like this, you really want to use tails for balancing reasons. But you can see here I was really having an issue because he kept clipping through the floor for some reason. I don't know, I guess it was just the way that Knuckles was lined up with the floor. He just kept cutting through it, which was very frustrating. As you can no doubt tell, the word of the day is frustrating. Now, you can't just do that in quick succession. You have to leave all those characters there. which I think is kind of annoying. It would have been nice if you could just bypass that entirely. So here's some nonsense that's gonna happen here. You get shot through a cannon, which is fine. You get to collect all these balloons in the air, which can give you some level ups, some rings, if you are properly aligning yourself, which is cool. I like this part. But once you get out of this area, I don't know, I just kept dying. I died at least like 2 or 3 times in this one section. It just made me go too fast, it bounced me off of there, and I just kept dying. So that was incredibly frustrating, and I really, really hated that so much. This was the most frustrated I think I was in the entire Sonic playthrough. Because for the most part, I was enjoying myself, but, you know, nonsense like that is going to happen every now and then. Yeah, that area, actually, when I was playing the Team Chaotic story, I remember I was playing as Vector, and I kept pressing the B button to, you know, make the rail grinding go faster, and then they automatically shoot you off the rail, and you're supposed to land on that platform, but I was still pressing the B button, so Vector body slammed directly down into that pit, so that was not fun. Did not like that. Again, this game has the same problem as Sonic Adventure. Basically, all the Sonic games still kind of have this problem, is that a lot of different functions are all mapped to the exact same button. So, that's never been my favorite thing, I have to say. And this game is still quite bad with it, although it's not as bad because there's not as many functions. You know, the worst that'll happen is that sometimes when playing as Sonic, you want a light speed dash, but instead you'll do the tornado attack. And, you know, sometimes that'll get you killed, but not all the time. So that's about as bad as it gets. You know, there's no bounce bracelets, so there's no going to do a light speed dash and then bouncing into a pit or anything like that. These parts are so infrequent and dumb, I don't know why these are even here. I would actually suggest getting Sonic out of there first, because it slows the cart down a little bit, and it lets you see what's coming a little bit easier, so I would actually perhaps suggest getting Sonic killed. Once you get Knuckles killed, it gets way slower, but if you get Tails gone, well, I think if you get Tails gone, that's just it. There's nothing you can really do about that. And that was cool. I thought I was going to die there. Thankfully, I managed to save that and managed to avoid drowning.
Leave it to me. Let's go. Whee!
I believe I was a little bit confused here, because I think that it just takes a switch in all the other stories. I think Sonic was the only one who needed to flip switches. Like one of those like pulley things that you have to pull out of the wall. Again, I really like the concept of this level. Going like on a siege against one of Eggman's bases is really cool. Blowing it up at the end, and then having the goal ring be right there is pretty cool, but I just don't like those levels. But thankfully they are over now. And you're not going to see a good rank on that because I died like 3 times to the same exact spot.
Barely made it.
Sonic, look!
That thing's loaded with Eggman's weapons.
Eggman, you're finished.
When I first picked this game back up again and was playing through the Team Rose story, for whatever reason I struggled on this boss so hard. Because it is kind of dangerous to play as Sonic and homing attack this thing, because you could go into a pit.
Ready all cannons!
But usually, if you're attacking the individual parts,
There's only one way to go.
of this boss, and you happen to be over a pit when it gets destroyed, it will put you on solid ground, which is one thing that I will say is a good thing about this fight.
Ready anytime.
What you really want to start off doing, you could just Team Blast it into oblivion. I would recommend attacking the wings first. Just get rid of the wings, and then you get rid of the blimp. You just take it down piece by piece. You also want to make sure, like, if you go over to the right, I think you get some power-ups. You can make your character more powerful, which definitely makes these go a little bit faster, but it's also not that big of a deal to literally just start mashing the homing attack button. Attacking the front, I don't think does anything, so what you really want to do is focus on the wings, as I said. This always makes me feel really nervous, too, going across those at high speeds. It kept making me auto-target that, which was so annoying. I just want to target that part of the wing right there. And then it just got to auto-target the egg pawns. It's just frustrating. I don't like this boss. I think out of all the bosses in the game, this is probably my least favorite. This part's significantly easier. You could just attack the propellers of the like air balloon part.
Leave it to me. Got it. Leave it to me. Leave it to me. Leave it to me. Leave it to me. Leave it to me.
So yeah, if you just keep shooting this guy here, you're gonna be fine. The bosses themselves are easy, but they can be annoying. Because like I said, and like you saw in the beginning, Sonic can just fly off when trying to attack something. There's no real good reason that this needs to take place over a bottomless pit like this. And the fact that now we're just fighting the Egg Hawk again. This is a boss we've already fought. Like, why are we doing this?
You'll pay for this.
You're going to pay for this. I am Dr. Robotnik. I'm a robot, Nick. Hello, my name is Nick, and I'm a robot. But that's gonna be it for this video. There's a cutscene here,
You
so
know
enjoy
you
that.
can't win.
Once again, you fools have been tricked.
It's a fake?
From these canyons, watch as I conquer the world with my air fleet. And this time, you can't stop me.
Drat, a trap to stall for time. Sonic,
It's not an Eggman robot. Sonic! Knuckles! Wait for me!
All life form data successfully copied.